So today we are gonna have a look at voicings that just consist of two notes. From my cocktail jazz tutorials, you know all these complicated voicings with four notes. First of all, what is a voicing? Again, briefly, this is a C chord. The chord consists of three voices. And so the voicing means how we arrange the voices of the chord. Like for example, this is also a C chord, but in a different voicing. Good. Now, we don't deal today with just basic triads. We add the 7. And to show you what I mean is, let's see, we have the C in the bass, and we play here the voicing for a C major. Two notes can be enough to represent that chord. The fifth can be left out. Why? Because the brain is completing the fifth. It's adding the fifth. It's not characteristic for the chord unless the fifth is, for example, diminished. Then this note is characteristic for this chord and has to be played because the brain is not adding it. So we can leave out the fifth. What we cannot leave out is the 7 that is characteristic for the chord, and the third, which defines if it's minor or major. So now, for example, if we play the C major chord with the two-voiced voicing, and you can already tell it sounds sweet. What else can you tell? I play just the C major and the F major. C major and the F major. The F major has the two intervals in a different order. It has the third first and then the major 7. In C, we have first the major 7 and then the third. And that's how they are also depicted. Voicings go just like the piano, from bottom to top. You have if you would write it down, you would write for this one, you would write 7, and on top of that 3 on top of each other. So it's just like the order of the piano, bottom, top. Now you can see or you can tell, and you should especially listen. What is the difference in sound? This instead of. It's more fragile, it's tender, and it's good to have a collection of voicings at your fingertips that you can react to what the piece needs. If it's an intro for a tender ballad, then they are just perfect. It's a very intimate sound. It's not pompous. Yeah, it's just fragile and tender. So these are the easiest examples for just two chords, the 1 and the 4, with the two-voiced voicings. Now let's see. We stay in C. Let's say we start with the E minor chord. How would that sound? So we have the E minor 7 chord, with the 7 here and the 3 here. So the voicing would be the 7-3 voicing. This would be the 3-7 voicing. I just love those voicings. I just love them. Now let's, for example, go from E minor to A minor to D minor to G7 to F major, C major and F major. You don't have to remember that, you will see it. Like we have the 3, that is the E minor chord. It's the third step of C major. Now we go to A minor. Oh, this is already a top of the range ballad. I will send it to, I don't know, Whitney Houston. And then, okay, E minor 7, A minor 7. Now D minor 7. Now G7. Again, 7, 3. Now C major. C major 7. F. Here again, these two, the 7 and the 3. G7. Both characteristic notes are here, the minor 7 and the major 3rd. Again, and we have a complete knockout hit. Then, of course, usually the melody comes on top, and that is, of course, then the work we have to do to find for the melody the right voicing that we can fit under the melody. I will just improvise. Again. What did I do now? E was my 7/3 voicing. Then I improvise with my fingers here. All notes fit here, you can try it yourself. Now this is the melody. And what did I do? Before I used this voicing, the minor 7 and the 3, but now this is my melody, so I use the other one, the 3/7 voicing, because I can do two jobs with one thing, play the melody and at the same time the two voiced voicing again. Here. Now D minor 7. Oh, again, here's the melody, and instead of this G7, I put this 7 here because it's the melody note. Now C major. Oh, it warms my heart, and so it should yours. When we're in quarantine, we need something to warm our hearts. Here, and this is what this lesson is for. C major, and we have the, again, we don't use this one, we use this one. It's just an inversion. And now this is the melody note, and the melody note is not part of the voicing here. So our voicing is here. So I could add it. So now we have the melody note and the voicing, which adds up to 3 notes. And that's what it often does. We have, for example, if my melody would start here, and I want to use this voicing below here for C major, melody, voicing. F major, again. No, we start from E minor. Let's say I start on E minor with this is the melody note. Then after a little while, I can identify this voicing. I play. Now let's say this is again my melody note, and I want to go to A minor. So you see, melody note. It's a tension note now, and I put down here. I use my 2 fingers for the voicing. So that's basically the work a piano player is doing when he's playing from the lead sheet. He's playing the melody somehow with his fingers, and with what else? Certainly not with his sofa. So, and then using the other fingers to play the voicing as good as he can. So you have to always then sometimes improvise with these fingers that are left here, like, you know, voicing. Or if the melody would be this one, we can of course let go and use the pedal. And if we can let go, we are free to play here, but sometimes we are tied, especially if the voicing needs to be played on the one and the melody needs to play on the one. So what if we have this one? So we have to play. So you see, I have to adjust my finger setting and improvise a little bit with pedal and to tie it. And that's what I do every day when I play somewhere. You know, have to, if this hand is doing both jobs, you have to share the fingers between voicing and melody. Now, of course, we have also the possibility to let the left hand do the job. With the pedal, you have the root. Here, root, voicing. Let's have them together. We could also see this now as a three-voice voicing, because the bass is part of the voicing here. And then left hand is doing both jobs. We have the root, the major 3 and the major 7. Then let's say A minor, E minor. E minor, you see? Or we could play if we want to have a fuller sound, we play. Or, you see, then we spread it here. Then we do the pattern root and bass, voicing here with the left hand. So that's a trick. Left hand is doing the either doing the job, or right hand. Both have its difficulties and its benefits. So now we're doing something magical. We have these. Now you've learned the 7/3 voicing, and I'll show you what we're going to do now. We started with the E minor 7, right? Now comes something really great. I double the top note, just an octave, just repeating the G down here. Everything stays the same. Listen. This alone is makes the sun rise. Look outside the window. If it's night where you are, then just play this chord and watch. You can see the sun rise. See? Can you see? It's night here. It's coming up. It's beautiful. And if I play the next chord on top of that, you know what happens then? The sun will rise and the moon will rise at the same time. And they will stand beside each other, looking down at you in total happiness. Now, E minor 7, and now comes the doubling of the top note gives the whole thing warmth and richness. Before we had, it's fragile, it's more fragile, just 2 notes, absolutely has its place. And the second toy we're having is octave doubling. And then the whole thing sounds like this. fantastic, huh? Let's go through it a bit slower. But in fact, you know everything already. You know these ones, you just play the octave here. Now it's easy. Then A minor. You had this one before, doubling the G. We had this one before, doubling the F. Can you hear the difference? Well, if you're not stone deaf, you can. Here. Here, it gives a bit more body to it. And then G7, doubling the F. Then C major. Oh, this is just marvelous. This is divine. See, you as a piano player, you have divine powers just at your fingertips, and you're not even using all fingers. Imagine you would be using all fingers now. Should be forbidden. Now, from here to F, it's magical. Here. And then we have the G. Again, you can try now. You play the E minor. Just play any note. Any note. Improvise a little. That's why you're here. Next chord. Where were we? A minor. There's his Whitney Houston. If that wasn't nice, I don't know what. See, quarantine can be nice. It's a small space you have at home, a limited space, but the space of sound is limitless. Just if you see your walls of like 4 square meters, I don't know how big your space is, but then you listen to the sound you can do, which is infinite. It opens up walls, it opens up borders. Unless your kids are nagging, then it's closing borders. So, I hope I could show you that chords are great, but chords are just chords, and voicings bring the chord alive. That's my lesson here. Voicings make the chord sound this way or that way. Intimate, pompous, jazzy, or whatever. And I also realized that the first victim of quarantinization is the shaving. We all come out like caveman, I believe. Bye-bye. Take care. Enjoy. Enjoy. I hope you liked my video and that you learned something. Now you can subscribe. Just press this subscribe button or click on another of my videos on this side. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.